Paul Mecurio. And by the way, Crowder is not back from Jupiter yet. If he gets back, he'll pop in here. He was excited to talk to Paul because Crowder's got a nascent comedy career working right now, and he likes talking to comedians. But Paul Mecurio, he's an Emmy winner for his work on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He's a recurring performer there, and he's going to make another performance on the show doing stand-up soon. And you may have seen him in specials on Comedy Central or HBO, but he is performing Friday at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts, one of my favorite venues, by the way. And the show is called Permission to Speak. It's directed by Frank Oz. We will talk about it in a second. But, Paul, I'm going to start because we were talking in the last segment. We would send Solana on eating expeditions when he traveled with the Miami Dolphins. He would travel with the Dolphins as a radio producer. And when he would go to the road games, we would give him a famous place to eat in whatever city he was in. And so if you go to Cincinnati, it would be Skyline Chili, Chicago Deep Dish Pizza, so on and so forth. And we would bring someone on who had some sort of connection to the city to tell him where to go. And we used to have a sports anchor down here. She's in Chicago now, Ruthie Polinsky, but she cut her teeth working at a television station in Providence. Paul happens to be from Providence. So I'm talking to him on the phone a couple days ago, and I mentioned that Solana's eating assignment in Providence, courtesy of Ruthie Polinsky, was this god-awful Olneyville hot dog place.
Woo! Olneyville, baby!
With the wieners sitting in grease. And what did she say, Solana? The coffee milk? You have to have a
she told me.
Oh,
my God. Yes.
There, order the wieners, like with the works, how they come, and order a coffee milk. It's like the thing everybody does. Robert Gronkowski apparently would make the trip over to Providence. Like, everybody loves wieners with a coffee milk.
Yes, you say it with disdain. Solana, I know I just met you, but you're dead to me. You are dead to me. I am not a fan of yours. Listen to me. That is the best restaurant in the world. You want to know why? It's an old school diner. You go in there, especially like 2:00 in the morning, and it's like dinner and a show. There's like drunks. There's a guy fighting with his girlfriend. There's two homeless guys. An alligator walks in. You never know what's going to happen. And they have this hot dog. It's a hot dog. They call it a wiener. They snip the ends, okay? And you drop, and it sits on this thing of grease, this basically grill of grease, and about like 3 inches of grease, and it sits there all day, and they simmer. And the key to this is two things.
Oh, there it is. Solana has just put up a picture of it, by the way, for those who will be watching.
Oh my God! No, I'm telling you, the best thing in the world is to get hammered and go to this place and suck down 3 of these in a large coffee milk. Now you gotta understand. You see, they're orange. That's the way they're supposed to be. I know they look artificial. That's because they are, and that's what makes them great. So here's what you do: you get your mustard, you got your onions. That's easy. They got the meat sauce. The meat sauce is a hamburger sauce with all these special seasonings, and it stews in this like pot all day, and then they steam the buns. So they had, right? They remember they open the thing and the bun comes out. And the best part of it is the guy's got a hairy arm and he's got a lot of people online, and he'll put them up his arm. He'll put like 8 all the way up his arm. So if it's a good night, you'll get a little guy's arm hair in your hot wiener.
I mean, what kind of place is this? Because we were talking about, I wonder if there's a place in Miami where, you know, you go, oh, you have to go here. And then someone walks in and they're disgusted by what they see. Because I remember Solana texting me that night because it was part of the assignment from the show. And he's like, I'm sitting at the counter. I don't think I can go through with this. Like, I'm halfway through one wiener. My stomach is rumbling. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, my God.
At the
You
counter
call
with his
yourself
coffee milk.
Oh, my God. You call yourself a man. Listen to me. Listen to me. Here's the thing. The coffee milk, if people are wondering, is, well, what is that? It's milk, and there's this thing called coffee extract syrup. If you go on Amazon, you can find it. It's by Autocrat, and it's literally coffee extract, and you put it in milk. It's almost like it's like a really great iced coffee, but rich and creamy, like a watered down coffee milkshake. And with the wieners, I don't know why you're raised this way. When you're like 3, my father brought me there. There's this weird combination of like greasy hot dogs, mustard, onions, meat sauce, and coffee milk, and it goes together. And then when you leave, the best thing is that the meal never leaves you, because the place stinks so bad of wieners. It attaches to your clothes like a fog, and I'm not even making this up. If my wife were here, we went to high school together and grew up in Providence. The rule is you go in and you take your jacket off so that at least your jacket doesn't stink of the place. I swear to God.
See, but Paul's doing a better job of explaining it than you did, Solana, because I think you went in expecting some sort of fine dining experience. I happen to like places that Paul is describing, which is, yeah, it just is what it is. And we don't know why it's so popular, but you just can't get enough of it.
What's with the high? Yeah, exactly. What are you doing with a highfalutin attitude? You're wearing a track jacket. What are you, like Lord of the Manor? What are you?
No, but that's the thing. Like, I wasn't expecting highfalutin. Like, I love the old school diner. That was the point of the assignment. Go somewhere where the locals go. I'm not going to go have a dinner like Joe Rose and Jimmy Cephala at Morton's for the 75th, 100th time. But here's what happened, Paul. The way you described it is how I experienced it. Before I walked in there, two guys threatened me.
There was an alligator walking through.
Two guys threatened me. One bum asked me for a cigarette. I don't smoke. I'm sorry. So now these people don't like me. It is 1:30 in the morning.
If you had any balls, you would take up smoking in that minute and give the guy a cigarette. That's your problem. No, it's exactly right. Like if you cut the line, you'll get a dirty look and maybe you shiv. You might get it. It's like waiting for food in prison in that place. It really is. Like it's a whole other world.
And the guy who's working the counter, I thought was going to murder me if I asked him any questions. So I sat at the counter for 20 minutes before anybody asked me what I wanted. And then I take a bite of this Wiener. It's crunchy. The bun is moist as hell. I didn't understand the dynamic. And I said, okay, at the very least, I'm going to enjoy this delicious iced coffee. And it's expired milk that I'm drinking. Like,
it was not expired milk. You're such a liar. You are such a baby. You know what? You are so uncouth. I can't even, you're so, okay. Here's the thing. I'll give you the bun is moist, but come on, who doesn't like moist buns? And I mean that in a couple of different ways.
I mean, you pay extra for that.
You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing about it. It's called New York System Hot Wieners because the guy that created it is a Greek guy. It's been in business 50 years. It's a takeoff on the New York City cart, hot dog, street vendor cart. But they don't do the meat sauce in New York where I live, and we're at the Late Show. I'm about to start taping, actually. We do that in New York. They do like this red onion sauce. But the thing about the hot wiener is, like, you've got to, and then you get the celery salt on it. Did you get the celery salt? Because that's the last thing. And it all goes together. But your mind is so closed off to sophisticated dining cuisine that I don't know that I can help you, Solana. I know I just met you, but...
Here's the thing. I'm glad we had Paul Mecurio on to bring closure to your experience there from like 2 or 3 years ago, because finally someone is explaining it in the terms that lets me kind of understand what was going on and where you may have missed on it. But Paul, by the way, Paul Mecurio performs Friday at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. Is it a place, though, where you would go for a family dinner? Like, would the Mecurio family get together and go for a big meal of wieners and coffee?
Yes, my wife and my son and I, whenever we're in Providence, we stop by. My son is now completely on board with it. He loves it. He's got a Wiener hat, an Olneyville Wiener T-shirt. We go. I make it a point when I go visit my family in Providence to go to Olneyville Hot Wiener. It is a throwback. It's really cool, and if you're lucky, there's a fight. You see a knife fight while you're eating, and what's better than that, right? And I know what you mean about like if you don't order the right way. It's not like, hi, what can I do for you? What do you want? I want 3. You want a mustard or not? What do you want? Like they're right. They were like right on top of you.
Situation on Seinfeld. Like you got to know what you're doing, and it's very intimidating if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And Rhode Island is a big like Italian community. It's about food, and so, but it's just the best. And if I could be there right now, I would fly you there, Mark, and you would go and you'd be like, Solana has no idea what he's talking about. He just doesn't. I mean, maybe
it's one of those places that you have to go with a local. You
do. I think, and I understand. Like if you haven't been, and you went at night, right? You went at night.
I went at 1:30 after the Dolphins beat the Patriots with a Dolphins a Dolphins team polo on. Which
okay, well, I mean this in the nicest way possible. You're an effing idiot. Okay, that you walked into that place with a Dolphin. What? What? Like, what are you? What? It's like being in the Crusades and giving everybody the finger who works for the Pope. Like, what are you, an idiot? You know,
no wonder you had an awful experience, Solana.
I am.
Here's the thing. This is how like random the place is. You would have been better off walking in, which I imagine was the winter, with no shirt on, and no one was giving you a second stare because probably 3 other guys had no shirts on either, than with a Dolphin shirt on. That was your problem right there.